Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. For the YouTube viewers, you're getting this free again. Yesterday, I did not record the cryptos simply because there's no change. Since we're all looking to buy cryptos and not sell them so much, unless you're a very short-term trader in cryptos, then yes, you had some setups. We're looking for buys. The buys weren't there. We looked at it in our trading room and we decided it's not worth recording the same thing over and over. I will do it today, so you guys will have a good one, and then we'll see where we go from there, right? Dollar index, let's go. So dollar index had finally made the down move, right? So we had this impulse, we got some corrections, and we get this. I'm not going to go through all the details of it here, but we just looked at it in our trading room, and we looked at it in terms of patterns and details. Something will be hard to explain here. And there's a high probability that this could come back here, probably drop here, and then go out of this structure for one more up, right? That's the highest probability that I think, personally, from the way I look at it, it could work, right? There's also an argument that this might be just all the correction, and this one goes out of it, make a new high, right? Those are the two arguments you're looking at right now, with the possibility that it will go make a new high because we haven't really broken that top as yet, right? Now, some of my traders and very good traders do have another argument. What if it actually goes lower? What if this is the top? That is the impulse. This is the deep correction, and this would drop more. Well, in that case, and that is possible, it could drop more as a much deeper correction, or it could drop more as a reversal without breaking the top. We don't know that, right? What I would say is it's rare that they would not break the top and reverse, but if it's going to do that, what do you do? You have to wait for at least a 1 hour correction here. I would have to see this thing literally making a lot of corrections here, and then I'll say, okay, good, let's go for a sell here, right? Now, there's a reason why I would wait for the correction before I get into the sell, because in that case, it's going to give me the possibility of getting break even, right? It's going to give me a chance of getting break even if it just drops like this and then go back up, rather than drop like this, right? So if it's going to go back up, just simply break the low slightly. Let me erase that. Simply break the low like this and then go back up. I need to get break even on it. And this one I will not get, but if it consolidates a lot here, it's going to make a bigger impulse. That would likely give me break even. So that is why I'm waiting for more consolidation before I depend on itself. But if we get any buy setups, it will be worth it, right? We can go for the buy. It's kind of consolidating here. It looks like it might make one more drop. To be honest, this looks like a consolidation that could make one more drop. Or this could be a small channel that ends and we're going up here. If I'm going to buy, I need a flag above this level. I need a flag here, a bigger flag here before I can buy. I mean a 1 hour flag, not a 15-minute one. Right? Now, what we do is we just use the dollar index to give us an indication of what we might see in the majors. And then we go for trades in the majors. So let's see silver. Silver actually did come down on this piece here, which makes a more complex pattern because they didn't really break the low, right? And it went up back. So the question is whether we would look at all of this as a bigger correction, right? And you could do that. You could probably look at this as a 1, 2, 3 up, a 1, 2, 3 down, and then goes back there. Or you could literally say, well, what if it's starting an up move, right? What is this? Didn't break the low. This was the low we were going up. Again, on silver, we didn't break the low, right? We didn't break this low. Normally, I would expect them to break that low before they go back up because I'm not looking for another big flat. So this might be complicated if you're not wave trader, right? If it goes up from here, we're still in the correction. Now, I hope that this would definitely be complicated if you don't know how we look at patterns, if you don't understand the way I teach patterns, right? This would still be a correction. And if they go back here, it will still come to break the low, right? Because you're still in the corrective structure. You have not completed the correction. But if this drops and break the low, then we complete the correction and we can do the reversal to the top, right? See, it can be complicated. Now, this could also be a deeper correction. This one, you see this correction, how deep this was? Yeah, this could be a deeper correction and then drop, break the low and then go. That is okay. That's well within how we look at patterns. So the question here now is whether this is doing a deeper correction. And this is why I said sometimes the trade setups that I would give you that we're looking at right now might change by the end of the day and might change even during the day. So right now, if you're looking at a trade setup, you can actually look for a buy setup because it's consolidating at the top here. This would be a buy. With all this consolidation going, if they break, you will take the trade, right? But what if before, I don't know, by the time this webinar is out, 2-3 hours time, this one actually drops like this? Well, any flag here, any flag, see this flag here, any flag there. And if you remember, go back and watch the webinar, we were calling the sell setup. Any flag there would be a sell setup to break that low. And this would be the bigger flag. I hope that's not too complex, right? Because this is how you have to look at patterns from for the complex way and simplify them to see where your trade setup is. So right now it's a buy setup, but that could change in the next couple hours, even within an hour. If this next hourly drop lower, we will start to look for the sell setup. All I'm trying to decide is whether this impulse has more to go. That's all. Or is this the top of the impulse and you're trying to come down? We have no clue about which one of those two is going to happen right now. Because right now it's not clear. You have to wait for more information on that. Gold, well, gold went up. Gold actually, we were looking at this as an expanding flat yesterday, and it actually, went up more. So what you would do is probably said, okay, well, take this as the low. This is a smaller correction. Take this as the low. This is the biggest correction. This one you probably would have seen, because once it corrects here so much, same thing like the silver. If it collects that much there, it goes up. Right? There's that much correction. If it's not dropping, the rule of if it's an expanding flat is this has to drop. It can't correct it. If it corrects here that much, then you're expecting upside. Come back to the top here. Again, you have a buy setup, right? We have a buy setup here. And this gold will definitely be a buy, because this could be the end of the structure. Let me go back and show you the structure I was showing you, right? And you can go back and watch the webinar when this was going up, what I said, right? We said that it doesn't matter how high they go. We're expecting them to only break this top. And it doesn't matter how high it goes above that top. It still is going to come back down in a 1, 2, 3. And after that, we're expecting it to go back up. So what we're trying to pinpoint is the point of entry now. Where do you get your buy setup? Well, what confirms your buy setup, right? You don't just buy it because you expect it to go back, right? You have to have that confirmation of the buy setup. You go, well, now if we get a flag there, that's a confirmation of a buy. And then we will take that buy and see whether that buy keeps up all the way to the top. Because you're going to exit that trade and enter more trades as you go along, right? You're not just going to buy it and hold it. So for those traders who were freaking out when I said this will come back down, it came back down. It did exactly as I said it would do, right? So the one trader who was saying he's going to stop trade, please come back and trade. Join the group. Contact me. I might even give you a discount. Just let me know it's you, right? So you got 1, 2, 3. You got 1, 2, 3. Now there's a high probability of this going up. So any buy setup here will take. Whether it goes or not, it doesn't matter. If you understand what trading is about, it really doesn't matter right now if that goes. If that one doesn't go, we get the hell out of it for break even or very small, and we will get into another trade, right? So right now, the probability of this going up is much higher, even than silver, because we know that this structure could end here. It's an equivalent of the first. So then this buy setup is okay. What would change this buy setup to one more down? Can this drop one more here? It could. Why not? If they drop like this and make a flag here, well, we will sell it to break the low again, and then we reverse it. Can they repeat that a number of times? Pull back, drop, pull back, drop, and then go? We've seen that many times. I showed you on the Bitcoin at the top that they broke the top twice before they actually dropped. But you don't forecast that it's going to break 2 times or 3 times. I'm not, I'm not a psychic person here. I'm just giving you the patterns of how they can behave. It can go 4 times. Okay, I don't care. On the 4th time, we will get a big trade to the upside. On the first 3 times, we'll probably get some small trades or don't even get into trades. So right now it's a buy setup, and we'll see what happens from there, right? Let's go. This one, we're only looking for sells. So the buys will not be in. I think this could go back up. We're thinking about this 1, 2, 3 and go back up. But right now, I think it's very high probability they might even drop one more here before they go. Because I'm looking at that as a possible running flat. You could also make an argument, well, this is the low and this is the running flat. So, okay. Any consolidation here, we're going to buy. That should break the top and then we'll get a downside. See? So let's see how this goes. Euro USD. Well, Euro USD didn't break the low, and unless it breaks the low, we're not considering the flat complete. So now we're going to consider the flat. It could be a complete flat. You could make an argument for 1, 2, and this is a 1, 2, 3 wave structure down. Any sell setup we get, we want this to come and give us a sell setup, we'll take the sell. It has to consolidate quite a lot there before I even consider a buy. I'm mostly considering a sell setup. So let it drop. It could be that it's a buy, but I don't have the buy setup as yet. If it drops more, make a flag, will sell. Under 15, if you look at it, this looks like a small consolidation, but that could be a consolidation before this top, right? We didn't make that top as yet. So you could take this as a separate consolidation, and that is the top. This is trying to come down. Or you can take this as a bigger running flat. If you look at the structures, it'll probably be like, and then they go back up. Would we buy it? I probably would wait on this one. There are other better trade setups to go with on the buy side, or even on the sell side, right? So this would be a sell only if it drops. So can this just break the top and then drop? It's possible. That's the danger about it, right? It might just break the top and drop again. So you have to be very cautious about when you're trying to buy at the top there. It can just go break that top slightly and start dropping again, because this is not how an impulse normally starts. So you got to be careful. Normally, if it consolidates long enough here, then I'll take the trade. Pang, on the other hand, is a clear sell setup. If you look at it, we do have this simple impulse, simple flat, simple impulse. This any flag here would be a sell setup, at least to break that low. And then from there, it could turn to the upside. I don't know. We have pound news today. We'll see whether that is going to be the trigger to drop it lower and then go back up. We'll know when the time comes. Let's go. Aussie, definitely a buy. So yesterday I had this for the Aussie and I said you have to be careful. Once you start breaking out of this structure, you're going to be in buy territory. This could have probably come a little lower here, break the low and then go back up. Well, it didn't come. It actually made a flat. So you had this here and you end up with a 1, a 2, and a 3. And then this didn't go further. Normally it will come break this low and then reverse, but then it starts going up. So this becomes the flat. You got an impulse up, you got a flat, you're getting an X impulse up. This was a buy setup last night for us. Right, for my traders, last night that was a trade call for a buy. If they took it, they make money. You're consolidating, we'll absolutely buy. We're looking for buy setups here. We'll see where that takes us. Right? New Zealand was on the bigger picture. I think I showed you we're looking for buy setups. We will be looking for buy setups on the bigger picture, but it wasn't clear at the bottom here yesterday in the 1 hour. If you look at it, it was looking like it could still make one more down. We weren't selling it. There was nowhere we were selling this, but it could have still made one more down, then go back up. But instead it go back up. So when it goes back up, you look for the lowest point, which would be this. That is the low. This is the flat. I think it's clear. Normally, when you get such a big flat with such a small impulse, you would think they would do this, come back here, and then go. Right? That's what you would always expect to happen. And this, they actually went up. So, okay, no problem. Consolidate here, we will buy. Right? And we'll absolutely buy this. So let me go back to this. This is the structure in the daily. We will absolutely take any buy setup. Just like remember from the top day, we were absolutely selling it. Good. Now, any buy setup here, we will take it. Once it's consolidated, that will be a sure buy. It's consolidating. I don't care. Even if that buy doesn't go, if that buy just tags and start coming them back, it's okay. We'll deal with it. But it's a buy, we will take it. Right? So if I don't take the euro, I'll just take the New Zealand. Why buy the euro? I'm not sure what the euro is going to do. I'm pretty sure what this could do. So I'll trade this on the buy side. I'll trade the Aussie on the buy side. On the sell side, I'll be trading the pound. Let's see which one comes. Swiss, this might be the start of the downside. We know that Swiss will eventually go back down. We're absolutely going to sell this. We'll see where this takes us. It might take a while. It could tag you and then pull back. Just so you know, it might tag you and pull back for a while. If we see a change in structure, we'll close the trade. And well, we manage trades. We know how to manage trades, basically. That's a big thing in our group, trade management. That's actually a separate topic that I teach, right? A lot of traders are talking about that now. Nobody ever mentioned trade management before. So if you hear anybody say anything about trade management, they got it from me. Because it was never mentioned anywhere in it. I've been here for years. I never talked about trade management before. So that's something we created because a lot of my traders were getting very good trades, but they didn't know how to manage their way in the trades and out of the trades, right? They could literally see the setup. They would take the trade and then they lost. They don't know how to manage, how to get out, when to take profit, what to do. So we created a whole set of rules for trade management to protect them from giving up what they had and from taking bigger loss than they should take, right? When to exit trade. Okay, so we were looking at this and I was thinking, well, this might just make one more, break that top and then come down, right? We were checking to see whether they should break the top. And I think they should. It should break that top to complete this price. Not that it necessarily has to break the top, but if it breaks the top, it gives you confidence, right? You don't have to break the top. This is a perfect 1, 2, 3, right? Yeah, it's a contracting flat. But if it breaks the top, it becomes a regular flat. So we'll come back here and we'll see whether it's going to break the top or not. It could still go break the top. We don't know that. Or it's going to consolidate here. And now we can sell it, right? Without breaking that up. it will just be a contracting flat. So if they consolidate here long enough, we'll go for the sell. But if in this very small one, I'll be careful. They can still do this and go right back up, break the top and then drop, right? That is normal. So we'll wait here to see which one we get. I would not be selling this as yet, right? Because it's not a clear sell to me. I can see the consolidation. It's not a clear consolidation for a sell. Once we get a good sell setup, we'll take it. Yen also dropped. We looked at this. You will go with a contracting flat there. This pretty much did what we wanted to do. Break. It didn't break that up. It slightly came to it. So take a contracting flat. You got one, you got two, you got three, which is what we were expecting, right? Now, what happens here is important. If this goes back up, we will make one more new high and then we'll look for the sell setup. We might even get a buy on the way up, right? But if it consolidates here without going up, which means, let me show you this. Remember when we were doing this and I said, watch this for the upside, right? This was pretty clear going to go up. Pretty clear. You just need the flag to start buying, right? The same thing here. We'll need this. We'll need a flag to start buying for the upside. But if it stays here and consolidate, the difference between this is this was a slow move down. This is a fast drop. If they consolidate here, we will make at least one more drop and a possibility that could be the start of the downside. So if we get a sell setup here, we'll take it. The buy setup, I don't know if we'll get it, but if we get it, we'll take it as well, right? So we'll assume that this is a flat for one more up, or this could be the start of the downside. Well, this consolidation will have to be more like an hourly consolidation. We'll have to take about 10, 15, 20 hours there, and then we'll get a good sell setup. Right now, there's no trade in it. Euro New Zealand. Okay, so we did break the top. We didn't go anywhere very much. You would have closed that trade pretty easy. It probably would have been a couple pips loss, depends on where you get tagged. If you got tagged on this first one, then you got out for break even. If you get tagged on the second one, you close the trade here. Right? By rule, we have rules, and by rule, you close the trade there. So whichever you did we break the top? That's the question. Nope, we never broke the top. And that leaves us with this as a flat, right? This piece here as a contracting flat. Now that we didn't break the top, this leaves this as a contracting flat, right? So if you get that as a contracting flat there, take this off, you have a 1, a 2, and a 3. Now we didn't break the top, so if that is the top, this could drop more, which means you can put an entry order here for a sell if it drops more, right? Can this go down more? Yeah, it's possible. We can go down more on based on this. You can still assume this is a deep correction and they go down more. But if this goes back up, we'll absolutely buy. The buy would either be above that top there, or when we get any buy set up on the lower time frame, which means if we get a flag. Now you got to be careful with this one. If any of the traders who are not in my group will be taking, you have to be careful with this, that it could drop here, tag, and go back up. That is a possibility, and that happens quite often. So if you're going to try to trade this, you have to be very, very careful so that it doesn't tag you and go back up, because the size of that flat is really big at the top there. Normally, when you get such big flat at the top there, you're looking for more of a 1, 2, 3 flat that it will eventually go back up. So if this continues to go back up, make any flag here, we'll buy. That will be tomorrow, not today. So follow me, you'll know which direction we're going on that one. EuroCAD. Okay, we're still looking for a buy setup. This would probably still be a bigger correction. I think this one would probably go back up a little here, but that might be a big flat. So they'll probably come back here, go there. It'll take a while. If it gets to the bottom here, if that gets to the bottom here, then we'll go up there and we'll drop. If it doesn't get to the bottom, if it stays in that range, we'll be going up. Just wait and see which one. We don't really have any buy setup there now. Euro Swiss. Okay, we can go for a sell here. That was a buy yesterday. You took the profit off, and now you can go for a sell here, right? Because it's making a small flag here, and that's a sell setup. The sell could be short term. It could be long term. Let's see which one we're going to go for. Okay, we came back to this stop. So we can assume still a long-term sell from this point, coming back all the way to the bottom here, right? If you look at it, you can look at this the way, what if this is doing? Would we look at a 1, 2, 3? I don't think this is not an equivalent of this, right? So we're not looking at it. This could be a 1, 2, 3 of its own. Separate. Then we'll have to look at this as some kind of a sharp 1, 2, 3 there, and maybe come down back here for a sharp 1, 2, 3 like this. There is a pattern like this. We had one of that in the Euro Yen, where these waves pretty much look sharp, but within 3-wave structure, and you got a sharp one there, they come here and then you go up. Let's see. We're looking for a short-term sell at this point, and we'll see if that is ready, right? Let's see if we get that short-term sell today. As long as it stays in that range, it's a short-term sell. If it goes back to the top, we will pull that sell order, right? So if this goes back anywhere to the top here, that sell order will pull, we'll wait for it to come back and then we'll buy. So for today, if this changes, you will not get that change. So what you can know is if it comes to the top here, pull that sell order, don't keep it. It's only valid if it goes within the next hour or two. Euros. Okay, this didn't go up. It actually break down. We're not in any sell. We're looking for the buy, and I still don't see where we put this structure. I see it coming down. I don't see where this sharp one fits. And I don't think I'm going to go for a contracting flat here. This doesn't really fit that doesn't fit well. So what we'll do is we'll wait. This looks like a sell setup, but I'll probably sell something else. If I get if I get this sharp move up back here, yep, I'll start selling. I'll go with this running flat here. And then we can start selling from here. But as it stands here, that sell is a little dangerous. The risk to reward in this number. So I'll skip this. Euro yen. Okay, we're still consolidating, which means we're going to be here for a while. You're consolidating here now. So you're consolidating in this one. You'll probably come back here and then you make that up move. It will be a while. Right? It'll take a while. Just leave it alone. Let it consolidate. And then we look for the trade setups. Euro pound. Okay, if we break this top and come back down, right? If it breaks this top here and come back down, we'll look at this piece as a possible flat. Right? It could be a possible flat that might go one more up. The whole structure is still downside. The whole structure is still downside. If it is going to drop, if you break the top and you're literally going to drop to retest the low, then it would have to drop here, make a flag, and then we'll go with the sell. Right? That would negate the flat possibility for upside. So I still think the whole structure is downside. I don't see the big upside in it as yet. So we'll wait. Just leave it and wait for a setup. Pound Swiss. Okay, we didn't go anywhere. Literally, we just go sideways. So you went up, you came down back, you went up, you came down back. This could be a bigger flat on its own. A bigger running flat here for me. So that could still be a buy setup. See? You could still make an argument of this being a bigger running flat because this was sharp down. We're looking at this as separate one. So this is a sharp one down. You get a 1, 2, 3 up. It's more of a 4, 5. You come back here. Any buy setup here would be perfect. So any buy setup here you get, any flag there would be a perfect buy setup. Wait for the flag. Confirm the upside. That would be a good buy setup. All right, let's wait for that. Where would that take us? Well, we'll see. It might take you a little higher to the stop. This could be the low, right? This could be the entire low of the structure to go back up. So we'll see how we look at the structure. I'll put it like this, but I don't think we're making one of those big flats. I absolutely don't think that's what we're doing. I'll put it like that. We'll trade it back to the top and then we'll see if they still drop or if they actually go back up. This, I think, is the low. So instead of an expanding triangular looking pattern, I think it's going to be an expanding flat pattern, which means it ends here, right? This is it. This was it, and this was the low, and we're going up. So it's a buy setup. Let's go for it. Can we put an entry order above the top? It's a little far. Try to get an entry before that, before it breaks the top. For my traders, any 15-minute flag will take it. Vamos. Stay away from this. This one is a little, we expect this pattern to go down. Remember when we did this 1, 2, 3? I expect this to go down. I just didn't expect that sharp move. So when you get that, what you're saying to yourself, well, it's probably changing the structure, which means I want another one like this. Give me a flat like that, and then we'll start the sell. Right? Let's see what it's going to do. Sorry. Take this off. Pound New Zealand. It's coming down. It's coming down really sharp. And it's at the bottom here, but it didn't come down with, like one drop. It came down more like this, see? Came down more like this. So you can make an argument for contracting flat there. So if it does that, there's a chance it's going to go back. If you're looking at these two being similar with this, I don't think it's a running flat. We'll probably make an argument whether it is or not, but then we can expect this to go back up if this went up. So you want the same thing like you had that flag here, you want the small flag here, and then we'll take that trade to the upside. Right, it's still going up, so we'll see. Short term, at least one more impulse. If I'm going to get a sell, which means if it doesn't do that and it keeps dropping, it will have to make a flag outside of that structure, even at this level. Somewhere here, we'll have to get a flag, and that will become my sell setup. Right? Otherwise, to that, we're still in the structure for upside. Pong yen, definitely a buy. Right? It's still coming sideways. We're putting a buy there. I wanted to break this low before they go up, but it's a buy setup. The big structure is giving you a buy setup. The smaller structure is giving you a buy setup, right? So it's pretty easy. When you see this, that's most likely 90% it's a buy. And this buy should take us above that top. So we have a buy setup on the pound yen. We have a buy setup on the pound Oz, which we think, well, pound Oz not sure. Pound New Zealand could be a buy setup, right? We think this could go up one more. And pound Swiss looks like it's going to go up one more, right? At least go back to the top there. And Euro pound looks downside, right? This should come down more. We don't have the bigger structure for upside in the Euro pound. So might be a pound thing. So let's wait and see. We don't know what the pound dollar is going to do. Pound CAD. This looks like a B wave. This looks downside, but first you have to get this impulse up, right? We have to get that impulse up there, make a flat, and then we look for that sell. So the immediate trade would be a buy setup. Aussie yen. Okay, now that it's gone up to the top there, what you want is you want this to come back here and then go like that, right? Give us this running flat. Because I don't think this is enough of a flat here. That's too sharp, right? To be all the correction. So even if we're trying to go down, but what we can do is if we get a sell setup here, we should take the trade. And I think we're getting a sell setup, so we will take this trade just to give us this one, right? Just to give us that one down there. And then we look for if it's a possible running flat for one more up. If it keeps dropping, good for us. We will go with this as all the correction, right? We'll go with this as all the correction. So the trade is a good one. Even if it's making a flat, let's say it's not going to go. Let's say you take this trade and it just comes here and start to do this. We know how to get out of that, right? So we'll get the hell out of it and we'll see. But if it drops, it's a very good trade. So I'll put the end shorter in for my traders, go into 15 and set up that trade. Put the end shorter in for the trade and we'll see where we go from there. You can put it here for now. We'll fine tune that entry, but I'll put it there for now. Right? So we can get into a better entry, but let's start with that one. Right? Let's go Aussie Swiss. Upside, more upside. This one didn't pull back, this one didn't drop, so it's going up a little more up. Let's see in the bigger picture. It's strange that they go up with this big flat at the bottom here, right? You have a very big flat at the bottom here and a very big flat. We didn't get into sell, we were expecting a sell, but then they got a big flat and they go up all the way back to the top. So not sure if this is the B part of it now, because this was a corrective structure. So you got 1, 2, 3. They started to make a flat here. You go back up. That doesn't look like the start of the up move. So somewhere along here, there's a good chance we might even come back down. Right? There's a good chance we might come back down. So this would be a W, X, Y, X, Z pattern, something like this, and then go back up. That makes sense. So let's wait and see. I don't see a buy setup here, or even if you get a small buy setup with a small flag, it's not worth it. Let it break the top and make corrections, then we start buying. It is very corrective at the bottom. Aussie, New Zealand. This is upside. It will probably go more up. So if you want to buy to this level. It's going up the way we expected it. It's just difficult to trade. It's really difficult to trade because in reality, it's pulling back quite a lot. So you don't get the trades to stay with. Aussie CAD, back to the 4-hour. It's finally going up. So as we expected, this is going up. If you get a flag here, we'll buy. Let's go to the 1-hour. Yeah. It didn't drop lower. It actually totally go up from this point. So we'll take this as a channel. I'll take that as a channel, and this is the upside. You can take these as shorter corrections. Take these as smaller corrections, slow move, expect more upside. Then we can expect more upside on this. This could be the start of that up move we're looking for. Right? This move could be starting from this point and go. So wait for the flag, buy. Right, we'll still go with this as a running, expanding flat. So any flag we get here now would become a buy setup. Let's wait for it. It's not quite, it's a little sharp. This one was a little sharp, so an entry above the top might be a good idea. New Zealand Swiss. This is a running flat. This became a running flat here. There's a pullback in this one, that one, that pull back there and then go back up. So we've got a running flat. Let's see where we're going. Put it an inch shorter above that top. This is the big picture. So put an inch shorter there and we see where that takes us. If you just get one spike like this and it starts to come back down, we'll close it for break even. If we get a spike through this, we're totally going up. We'll take all of this as the correction for total upside, right? So that's a good buy setup. I think it's worth taking the buy there. Consolidating above the top, we go for the buy. If it is going to drop, you can't sell it, as I said, but a buy setup is a good idea here. New Zealand CAD. We'll have to wait to see whether this, we're the low. I think we're the low on this as well, right? This one also, is it a low? Absolutely same pattern like the New Zealand dollar almost. And this correction. So if you get buy setup here, we can go for it. Go back on the 1 hour. That was the low we broke there. So this one, let's see if we have enough of a correction for a buy. You can put an entry order here for a running flat or expanding flat, sorry. For a small expanding flat on the 15. Yeah, you can make an argument for that. All right, this is actually giving you a sell setup here in the 15, which means, I don't know, if this is all the correction, we're going back down, this could be a sell, a short-term sell. Right, because I'm not sure they don't just break the low and go back up. In the big picture, it's more upside than downside, right? In the big picture, this is more upside than downside. So if I'm going to sell here, I'll wait for a 1 hour flag. Let it consolidate for an hour, and then we'll sell. If it's going up, they can break this low and go right back up. All right, so we'll go with the buy until we get a flag. New Zealand yen. Okay, this did, it did go up more, it didn't break down. This didn't break down as we expected to go back. So we're still in the consolidation. Put it like this, you're still in this consolidation, right? And you're in a big consolidation here. So put the entry order like this, put the, sorry, the line here. And this could go a little more. I could see this coming up a little more here. And then we can look at this as a flat for downside. Right, so probably a little more, but this is mostly going to be downside. I don't see this will be taking off to the upside, right? We don't have any setup that says it's going to take off. Canadian, you do still have a sell setup here. It hasn't changed. It could go higher and become a buy setup, which means this here could climb higher, come to the top there, come back down here, and then go one more, right? That is possible. But as of now, it's a sell setup. An entry order here is not a bad idea. Cat Swiss. This is no longer valid. It's going up too high, so we'll take that off and we'll wait. Swiss yen. Okay, we tagged the low. It's still a buy. You can still buy this. There's a flag forming there, but that is only one move up, right? That's literally doing this, making a flat here, and then drop, right? So it's a buy, but only for the flat. Now, can this go lower? Of course, this can keep going much lower and much lower and much lower. Eventually, you're gonna get this, and then you get a running flat or downside. Now, the question is how long is it? This is still a big move, so the upside is still a valid buy. Very short-term trade before you get a running flat. They're already at the bottom, so that will be a running flat. That absolutely be a running flat for downside. And let's see. Okay, pretty much it's going down slowly. So this would still be some kind of a flat probably. This might drop one more, go back up. I think we might spend a longer time here because this is sharper than this one is. So just let it correct, and then when you get the right setup, you go for the trade. Can it go a little lower? I think so. They're making a flag for a sell. Might be worth taking the sell short term. You're getting short drops, nice short drops you're getting in it. So you can take the short drops and see how far they go, right? you're getting very shorter. You don't have the buy setups yet, so you might as well go with the shorter sell setups, short term, right? So, okay, guys, that's about it. I'll close this, and for my YouTube traders, if you like it, share it, and wait for the next part 2 will be out very soon. Thank you. Bye.